Hello YouTube! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another Starcraft 2 upload. Now this is a replay of my first ladder match of 2015, which is also my first ladder match in about 12 calendar months. Now obviously I'm going to be a little bit rusty, but this is my placement match, which means every season you take a placement match where you play against another random player, and depending on how you do, you get placed in one of several divisions: Bronze, Silver, Gold, Platinum, Diamond, and Masters. There is a Grandmasters level. I don't think you can be placed there initially. I think you have to get placed in Masters and then work your way up the ladder to get to that level. But my goal for this game is to not embarrass myself and actually manage to possibly win and get placed in something higher than Bronze. So I am scouting around with my probe up to this top spot where I know a player could be. There's nothing there. The Protoss player also scouted up there, saw there was nothing there as well. So neither of us have effectively scouted the other, unfortunately. I am unfamiliar with this map, so I'm sending my drone to where I know there are bases. I can see there are minerals and Vespene geysers here, but I'm not entirely sure where it's possible for my opponent to be. So unfortunately for me, I am playing in the dark at this point. Now, the Protoss player has made a pylon up here in this area that I'm not likely to scout, which means, yep, proxy gateways. I guess it could have also been proxy stargates, but if you remember in my last game where I made the proxy hatchery right next to the Protoss's base, these are proxy gateways right next to the Zerg base. You'll notice you just come down this ramp and up this ramp and you're there. Now the benefit of this for the Protoss is that if they make units like Zealots are normally pretty slow. In order to get them across the map, you have to walk all the way here and all the way up there and eventually make it to the base. This way, they have a shorter attack distance, they can be more effective, and the added bonus is I am scouting around with my drone and I don't see anything. I don't know what's going on, so I'm playing in the dark a little bit less than I was before, but I am still pretty lost. Now, obviously, me seeing no gateways, no cybernetics core at 4 minutes into the game tells me the Protoss has a proxy something, but I don't know what it is. Like I said, it could be gateways, it could be stargates, and so what I'm going to do is take my second gas here, and I think I just kind of panicked and thought maybe I'll go for swarm hosts because those are pretty good against Protoss. I'm doing this entirely blind though. I don't scout this at all. I have no idea what's going on. I do send a couple Zerglings down to, oh hey, surprise, another proxy hatchery. So I am planning on just putting a little pressure on the Protoss front door and hoping that his proxy doesn't do too much damage to me. Now you'll notice this ramp is completely wide open. I'm able to send Zerglings in there, I can send Roaches in there, I can send Ultralisks through there, which are the largest land unit that Zerg have. The Protoss doesn't do a very good job of preventing any scouting or attacking units from getting there. So I could have gotten up in there, done some scouting, done some harassment with these Zerglings, just tried maybe to kill a couple of workers. But instead, they just kind of sit down here and do nothing. In the meantime, oh, here come these Zealots. And there are 4 of them, which cost 400 minerals. They have twin Psi blades that do 8 damage per attack per blade. And so this spawning pool is going from 1,000 health down to 0 very quickly before I can mount much of a response. Now this is a good choice from the Protoss because the spawning pool is what allows me to make these Zerglings, it's what allows me to make queens, it's what allows me to build spine crawlers. Everything that I can use to defend requires that spawning pool. So all that I have left are these Zerglings that I morphed before the spawning pool died, so they were exempt from the rule that says you can't make those anymore. And I'm able to barely clean this up thanks to the help of the spine crawler that I did throw down in anticipation of the attack, and thanks to these 2 queens that I had, as well as these few Zerglings. Now 5 Zerglings is not going to be much to defend against the next wave of Protoss attacks that are definitely coming, but I do finally scout, I see where the gateways are, and out pop these Zealots. Now I do get pretty lucky. They were on a move command. It looks like they were rallied to go right here when they build, which means they weren't attacking for the first couple of seconds, which allowed my Zerglings to get in some free hits, which was helpful for me. But 3 Zealots is more than a match for 5 Zerglings, just because it's 100 minerals for 1 Zealot and 50 minerals for 2 Zerglings. So 1 Zealot can kill 4 Zerglings fairly easily. It's not a big deal. In the meantime, I am sitting here doing nothing with this base. In retrospect, I probably could have done a little more with it. These Zerglings are not doing anything at all. And the second attack comes in. Now, this is an attack of 6 Zealots. They are going... Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? 5 Zealots. They are going directly after my Queen. They are trying to take out this Spine Crawler, who does a lot of damage, thankfully. The Queen runs away. The Queen is faster than the Zealots as long as she stays on this creep. If she moves out to anywhere else, her speed plummets and she will be easily picked off by these Zealots. Now they are not quite sure what they want to do. They end up focusing on the Spine Crawlers. I do get some Zerglings to pop out and assist with this defense. And I do clean up the Protoss Zealot attack. But at what cost? There are 30 workers for the Protoss compared to 15 for me, which means economically I am behind. The longer this goes on, the less likely it is that I'll be able to win this game. So what I have here is a couple Spine Crawlers on the low ground, and they're able to attack once the Zerglings get up here and give them some vision up this cliff. Once the Zerglings go away, however, the Spine Crawlers cannot attack anymore. Now the Zerglings come in here and actually start doing quite a bit of damage. Now, workers, probes, drones, SCVs are able to attack. They don't have much of an attack. It's usually only 4 or 5 damage, depending on what they are. These probes can turn around and kill these 2 Zerglings fairly easily, but they choose not to. And in the meantime, I send up another wave of Zerglings from my base. In response, the Protoss warps in Stalkers, which is not a good choice. Zerglings do very well against Stalkers. They do less well against Zealots, as I mentioned earlier, and so I clean those up. Maverick, my Protoss enemy, decides to leave because these 2, 4, 6, 8, 12 Zerglings are in his base. He didn't wall off at all. I'm able to kill this pylon, which means his cybernetics core is no longer powered. He does have some units up here. Looks like he has 4 Stalkers and 3 Zealots, which if you brought it down to the base, I don't have any defense against that. I am making some more Zerglings, but I don't think it would be quite enough to hold it off. So it could have turned into a base race scenario, where one player just tries to kill off all the buildings of the other player while their own base is under attack, and whoever kills off all the buildings first wins, because that is the win condition in Starcraft 2. It's not about how much army you have, it's how many buildings you have left. If you have 0 buildings, you lose the game no matter what. But in the end, Maverick chose to leave the game, thereby losing in the process. And I was promoted to silver. So hey, I got my goal of not being in bronze, and we'll see if future games can get me promoted even further. I don't have much hope for that very soon, but you never know. So in the meantime, thanks for watching Falcon Paladin. If you enjoyed what you saw, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and you can visit me on Facebook at facebook.com/FalconPaladin. Until next time, you take care of yourself.